What's up, gear mortals? Trey Xavier here. I've got a knife in one hand and a box in the other, and that can only mean one thing. Let's do this the fast way, shall we? Oh, man, sometimes you really gotta pull to get these things out of the box. Check it out, it's the Sterling by Music Man, Jason Richardson. You may recall last year I did a couple videos using the Ernie Ball Music Man, Jason Richardson signature Cutlass 7-string, and this is the Sterling by Music Man import version of that guitar. It is significantly less expensive, but what we wanna know today is this one gonna hold up to the original? And we're gonna find out, because anytime I get a new piece of gear, I am always super inspired to write a new song. So let's write a song using the Sterling by Music Man, Jason Richardson's signature Cutlass guitar. Today, we are going to attempt to write a song in the style of the one and only Jason Richardson. A veritable shred god. I'm gonna be sacrificing my poor tender wigglers on the altar of shred as an offering to the shred god himself as we attempt to nail down all the elements of a Jason Richardson song. Hopefully I can play well enough to at least fool you into thinking that I'm good at the guitar. It's not gonna be Jason Richardson level shred, but I'm gonna do my absolute damnedest, and of course, as always, there's only one way to find out. To assist in this endeavor, we've got the brand new for 2020 Sterling by Music Man, Jason Richardson's signature Cutlass. This guitar is real sick. I have played the Made in USA Ernie Ball version, and this one holds up surprisingly well for being an import. Obviously, it looks so close to the original. It's got 7 strings, it's got a 25.5-inch scale, it's got a 16-inch radius, it's got locking tuners, Jason Richardson's signature pickups by Sterling by Music Man, it's got a poplar roll top, roasted maple neck, tons of mojo, and push coil splits. Before we get started, real quick, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the Gear Gods channel if you haven't already, and to also check out my Twitch stream where I write songs in real time and you can watch the entire process start to finish. And if you like the way that my songs turn out, I'd also encourage you to subscribe to my band In Virtue and to the Trey Xavier guitar channel where a lot of these compositions wind up. There's links to all of that in the description below. There are a lot of different elements that Jason Richardson uses in his compositions, and I like pretty much all of them. Shred guitar, chunky riffs, orchestral stuff, really cinematic sounding parts, a little bit of electronica. It's got it all, and aside from the fact that there's just this earth-shattering, brain-melting shred at incredible speeds, but is also compositionally sound in so many ways, just completes the picture in a really nice way for me, and I hope for you. Jason is known primarily as a shred metal god, but I honestly think of him more as a composer than anything else. I don't know if he fancies himself as such, but if you take a really close look at his songs, you'll notice that they're much more in the style of like a classical composer than like a pop, rock, metal songwriter. You can also hear a ton of cinematic movie score type of influences and sounds in his songs, and I love that. So we're gonna go ham with these kinds of elements and see what we can come up with. I'm gonna try my hardest not to just cram all of these sounds into this short song, but I honestly don't know if I'm gonna be able to help myself. The first step, of course, is to get a good sound. That's not hard because Jason has his own signature plugin through Joey Sturgis Tones. He told me that his sound is literally opening up the plugin, and there it is. So that's what I did. So if that's not it, I don't know what is. And then of course, the lead tone. Jason also has a collection of outrageous awesome hats that I don't have any of. I'm hoping that this outrageously colored yellow Ernie Ball cable will suffice. So what's a tempo that I'm not gonna kill myself at, but is gonna sound authentic? All right, we're gonna go with 160 because even though that's not super high of a tempo, it's about the fastest that I can consistently alternate pick. That'll make it sound pretty Jason Richardson-esque because from my understanding, he alternate picks pretty much everything. A lot of Jason songs will open up with these really cool orchestral cinematic percussion instruments and then like some kind of lo-fi version of the melody or the theme, either on guitar or on some symphonic orchestral elements. And that makes me a happy boy because it gives me an excuse to use one of my all-time favorite sample libraries, the Apocalypse Percussion Ensemble by Sound Iron. If we don't open with an arpeggio, is it even really Jason Richardson? Something like that. Those two chords sound really cool next to each other. All right, so now we've got this intro, the lo-fi guitar over it. I'm gonna drag this same melody over onto the not lo-fi lead. So now let's drop some rhythm guitar underneath. All right, now let's add some drum kit sounds onto this part, because now it's kind of the song is kicking in. One of the awesome weapons that Jason has in his arsenal is Luke Holland on the drums. I do not have access to Luke Holland. I don't have him just sitting in a studio somewhere waiting for me to send him these tracks. Instead, what I have is Superior Drummer 3. So let's drop in some drum kit sounds for this part. Yeah. Great. In order for us to land in a nice chug-friendly key on this next part, I'm going to change the ending lick a little bit so that we wind up in the key of A, which is the tuning that we're in, so that we can have some nice chuggerinos in the next bit. All right, now we need a sick riff. I really like the way that Jason will combine like open string pull-off riffs with really chuggy parts, so I'm gonna see if I can come up with something like that. Now I'm gonna lay a chuggy guitar part underneath that. Then the second time the riff comes around, instead of playing the chugs, I'm gonna try doubling it on the low string and see how that sounds. I think this next part calls for some lo-fi chugs a la tendinitis. Because I'm a big fat cheater, I'm going to use this Ernie Ball Axis capo to double this part up an octave, because otherwise it's going to be the same open string and I want it to be an octave higher. I really like to reinforce the big theme ideas with octaves because that really makes it pop out, and especially here at the end of the song, you're really going to want to hear that again. That really brings the whole thing full circle and makes it feel like a complete song. So now I need something to get us from this little melody bit to the final breakdown, and I'm going to do something a little bit unusual, sort of. Let's see if this works. Now I'm going to try doubling up this part on this tinkly little music box sound because I really like the sort of contrast between that fast, shreddy, serious sounding lead guitar and this nice sparkly sounding music box thing. So let's see how that sounds. I'm going to add an arpeggio of strings that's the same arpeggio as the one that opens the whole thing, but halftime, but then also double down each note on the strings. For this, I'm using the Composer Cloud Hollywood Strings Gold. The next thing that we have to do is add all the layers of orchestration, all the electronic type of sounds, all the like EDM, synth, lead stuff, and all the sort of glitchy, weird sounds that he sort of peppers in throughout his songs that I think really take it to the next level, to be honest. All right, so I'm going to take the melody part from that sort of alternate pick open string guitar riff. I'm going to play it on the orchestra. Let's add some harp. Now let's drop a celesta on there for some of those whimsical Tim Burton-y vibes. Then let's add some dark, spooky piano. Yeah, that's much better. Let's add some ominous low horn parts. One of my very favorite parts is adding the orchestral percussion, because you can just add so much build and anticipation and like huge sounds to your composition with the simplest little things, like a bass drum roll like this will just add so much expectation to the next thing that's coming. It's unbelievable. Check it out. On top of that, we add a little cymbal roll. I feel like anytime you drop a gong hit on something, it feels like something has just begun. Like you just started the fight scene or whatever. Something's coming. Now it's time to add some cool glitchy electronica shit, and I really have no idea how to do this properly, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I have this sample library called Glitch Hero from Sound Iron, and it's got some pretty awesome sounds in here, and I'm gonna just use that. Let's see if we can make a little glitchy beat out of that. It sounds like a movie soundtrack. I love it. This will be a cool ambient female vocal sample. Of course, for the last thing that happens in the song, we gotta jack the intensity way up in every possible way. So even though it's pretty much the same as the main theme that happened the first time, we're just gonna layer more and more stuff on it. I really think these octave strings are what's gonna give it that little push over the cliff, so let's give it a shot. The last thing that we need, of course, is an outro. I want something moody. So I'm going to go back to the piano patch, and I'm going to kind of reference some of that earlier stuff, a lot of the intro parts. I really like when the outro references the intro. That makes it feel really bookended and complete. So I'm going to let this little lo-fi beat go along with the piano. That's a cool vibe. I like that a lot. Just pretend like I have the coordination and enough keys to do that, all right? I really feel like that rounds out the song pretty nicely. After this huge, super intense musical climax, you want to have a nice, chilled out, just super laid back, low intensity sort of a thing to really sort of reflect on and recover from the thing that you just experienced. So that feels good to me. I think that's a great way to end the song. And now you're going to get to hear the whole thing and watch me play all the way through it. So enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I had so much fun writing and recording this crazy, crazy song. I pushed myself so hard to get this right, and I feel like I improved so much just having to practice these guitar parts that I wrote that started out pretty far outside of my league. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get even remotely close to the kind of stuff that Jason can play, but I really liked sort of dipping my toes in his compositional style, pushing myself on the guitar, stepping outside of my comfort zone and trying something new. So, as always, if you haven't already, mash that subscribe button, smack the bell to join the notification squad, drop me a like, and leave a comment in the comments section letting me know if you thought that I nailed Jason's style, if I came even remotely close, or if I'm totally off the mark and I'm a complete hack. Because I want to know, and I'll see you real soon. Yeah, check out the way that I'm not good at playing it. I really think these octave strings here are what's gonna crank it up